Hey y'all, how we doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Today, the card we're working on from Wisdom of the Shadow Oracle deck is Fear. Fear. And the art is called Fear's Hostage. Okay, here we go. Here's the mantra. I release myself from being bound by my own fears. I walk in liberation, untethered and free. And here's what she has to say about fear. Desiring to get rid of fear is an endless internal battle that we cannot win. Fear is a vital response that protects us from legitimate harm. Our fears are designed to keep us safe, responsive, and alert. They are a natural part of our brain's ongoing, highly intelligent discernment and analysis system. To get rid of fear itself would not serve our highest good. Fear is so visceral and biochemical, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, fatigue, that it can create a binding up within our physical, energetic, and emotional bodies. We can become attached to this pattern energetically and quite literally be hostage to the patterns of our fears, bound within our own bodies. When we witness the pattern arising, we can invite ourselves into deeper awareness. Once we see the shackles with which we have bound ourselves, perhaps to keep ourselves safe at one point, we can lay them down and step towards liberation. Befriend your fears, get to know them, ask them why they are there, thank them for protecting you. Take them by the hand and let them know it is safer than they think to move forward. Start with the fears that feel the least binding and get comfortable with showing them other possibilities. Then keep moving forward. Remind yourself that the fears don't actually need to leave. They can stay. They just don't get to run the show. And then here are the contemplation questions. What fears are not a likely threat that can be released? Where have I allowed myself to be bound by my own fears? What sensations do I notice when filled with fear? All right, let's do some tapping on fear. Okay, 3 deep breaths. One out front, one out back, another one out front. Here we go. Deep breath in and hold, and then release all the way down to the toes. Okay, we're going to go do one out the back. We're going to make a window, a door, or portal for that energy to whoosh out our back and release all the energy that we hold in our backs. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in. And whoosh. Ah, this feels so good. And one more out front with a great big old sigh. Let's do some tapping on fear. I listen to my fears and hold them in my heart to be transformed or released. I understand that some fears are valid and sending me a message. I listen to my fears with an open heart. I release myself from being bound by my own fears or others' fears. I walk in liberation, untethered, and free. I am a unique expression of the divine, and I choose how I express that uniqueness. I am peace. I am love. I am one with life. I am. All right, 2 more times. Here we go. I listen to my fears and hold them in my heart to be transformed or released. I understand that some of my fears are valid and sending me a message. I listen to my fears with an open heart. I release myself from being bound by my fears or others' fears. I walk in liberation, untethered and free. I am a unique expression of the divine, and I choose how I express that uniqueness. I am peace. I am love. I am one with life. I am. One more time. I listen to my fears and hold them in my heart to be transformed or released. I understand that some fears are valid and sending me a message. I listen to my fears with an open heart. I release myself from being bound by my own fears or others' fears. I walk in liberation, untethered and free. I am a unique expression of the divine, and I choose how I express that uniqueness. I am peace. I am love. I am one with life. I am. Deep breath in. I find it interesting as I was tapping that I kept leaning forward. I'm not sure why I was doing that. Yeah, fear. You know, we can become fearful by listening to others that are in fear, and picking up on that emotion. So kind of a silly story, but it's still a story about fear, and most stories about fear are silly. There are some that are true, that, as it says, there are some fears that are valid. I would say 99% of my fears are not. But today while I was outside, I noticed a skunk walking across the back pasture where we keep the donkey and the goat, and she had something in her mouth. And I thought, well, that's weird. Skunks don't usually come out in the middle of the day, right? So I went and did something else in the yard and came back, and here she comes again from the same way, coming towards our yard from the neighbors, something in her mouth. Well, she's moving her babies from the neighbor's yard to our yard. That's right below the fire pit. And that second time I saw her, I kind of went as close as I could without going, because it kind of drops down from the fire pit. It drops down and it's real rocky, and there's all different kinds of holes where snakes and armadillos have made their home. And my dog came up. Now, she doesn't mess with skunks. She's had it happen twice, and she's just like, I've been there, done that, not doing it again. But I was just trying to see if that's where she was going, which she is. So here's the fear that, at night she's going to come into our yard. Now, they do eat grubs and all kinds of insects, but they also eat lizards and birds and eggs, and I don't need her trying to go into the chicken coop and trying to get the eggs from there. And, and I don't want to have to buy a ton of vinegar, to give my dog a bath. Or my son's dogs a bath when they come visit, because they are, I'd say, not quite as smart as my dog, and they will chase after anything, no matter how many times it gets sprayed. And I don't know if you've ever been sprayed by a skunk, or if you've had a skunk spray around your house, but the smell stays for days. It doesn't matter. I got sprayed one time and I took a shower, washed my hair at least 5 times. And my husband was still like, I can smell, it's like a garlicky smell. I don't wish it on anybody. So anyway, there's this fear that with this skunk moving in with her babies, we're all going to get sprayed and my yard's going to smell like skunk. And so I am going to try to scare it away by making lots of noises. And I don't go down in that area a lot because we've kind of kept it wild and it's full of my arch nemesis chiggers. And so, yeah, but it's still a fear, and a fear of getting sprayed because my husband might not let me go to bed. Anyway, so yeah, again, there's fears like that. And then there are valid fears. And if you are facing a valid fear, or even one that you feel, please find somebody. Please find your tribe, somebody to talk to about it. Fear is just another way that our body is communicating with us that something is out of alignment. So we just have to ask ourselves, what is out of alignment? And what can I do? What are my options? Can I change the situation? Can I change my perspective? Can I just learn to live with it? That's pretty much with all life, right? All right, y'all, have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you next time around. Ciao.